In this video, I'll summarize the plot of Looking for Alaska in about 4 minutes and give you an analysis of the story. Okay, let's get started with the introduction. The novel begins with Miles Halter, a 16-year-old obsessed with famous last words, leaving his home in Florida to attend Culver Creek, a boarding school in Alabama. He is searching for what poet Francois Rabelais called the Great Perhaps, a deeper, more meaningful life beyond his quiet suburban existence. At Culver Creek, Miles quickly befriends his roommate, Chip, the Colonel, Martin, who introduces him to the rebellious and enigmatic Alaska Young. Alaska is beautiful, intelligent, and unpredictable, and Miles is instantly drawn to her. She brings him into her circle of friends, which includes Takumi and Lara, and introduces him to the world of pranks, late-night conversations, and deep philosophical discussions. Miles falls for Alaska despite her having a boyfriend, but her impulsive and self-destructive tendencies make her an emotional mystery he cannot solve. As Miles settles into life at Culver Creek, he and his friends become involved in an elaborate prank against the school's strict headmaster, Mr. Starnes, known as the Eagle. Their plan, which involves fireworks, blue hair dye, and a fake progress report, goes off perfectly, strengthening the bond between Miles, the Colonel, and Alaska. Meanwhile, Miles and Alaska grow closer. She flirts with him, challenges his worldview, and introduces him to new ideas about literature and life. However, she remains emotionally distant, giving him only fragments of her past, stories about her mother's sudden death when she was 8, and her feelings of guilt. Despite her occasional affection, she continues to push Miles away, frustrating him and deepening the mystery surrounding her. One night after a game of truth or dare, Alaska kisses Miles for the first time. It feels like a moment of possibility, but it is short-lived. Later that night, Alaska receives a phone call that leaves her distraught. She panics, insisting that she has to leave immediately. Drunk and inconsolable, she begs Miles and the Colonel to help her sneak off campus. Though confused, they agree, distracting the Eagle so she can drive away. The next morning, everything changes. Alaska has died in a car accident after crashing into a police barricade. The news devastates Miles and the Colonel, who struggle with grief, guilt, and confusion. They question whether her death was an accident or suicide, wondering if they could have stopped her. After Alaska's death, Miles and the Colonel become obsessed with understanding what happened. They retrace her final moments, investigating whether she was trying to kill herself or if it was a reckless mistake. They learn that the day of her death was the anniversary of her mother's passing, adding to their theory that her guilt may have driven her to take her own life. Despite their search, no definitive answer emerges. They come to realize that trying to understand Alaska completely is impossible. Just as she remained a mystery in life, she remains one in death. As Miles processes his grief, he realizes that searching for the exact reasons behind Alaska's death will not bring her back. Instead, he begins to focus on what she meant to him and what he learned from knowing her. In an essay for his religion class, he reflects on the concept of forgiveness and the idea that Alaska, like everyone else, was trapped in the labyrinth of suffering that she often talked about. The novel ends with Miles choosing to forgive Alaska, himself, and the uncertainty of life. He understands that he will never have all the answers, but he can still move forward, carrying her memory with him. One of the central themes of Looking for Alaska is the search for meaning in life and death. Miles arrives at Culver Creek seeking the Great Perhaps, believing that adventure and intellectual discovery will give him a deeper understanding of the world. However, Alaska's death forces him to confront a different kind of question: how to deal with loss, uncertainty, and the limits of understanding. By the end of the novel, Miles realizes that not everything in life has a clear answer. His journey is not about solving the mystery of Alaska, but about learning how to live with uncertainty and continue forward despite it. Guilt plays a major role in the novel, particularly in how both Alaska and Miles deal with past regrets. Alaska blames herself for her mother's death, and her unresolved grief leads to self-destructive behaviour. After her death, Miles and the Colonel struggle with their own guilt, questioning whether they should have stopped her from leaving that night. Ultimately, the novel suggests that guilt is part of being human. but holding on to it indefinitely only causes more suffering. Miles' final realization that forgiveness is the only way to move forward demonstrates the novel's message about the importance of letting go, even when closure